depending on the area, and I'm gonna get to it. There's some areas where home are worth, I don't know, 1 million plus. This is where you do the ground up construction because there's margin where you can build them up, sell it for a profit. There are areas that are called lower income areas where homes are, I don't know, 700,000, maybe even 500,000. You don't have enough margin to do a ground up. So in the lower income areas, you do the fixing and maybe add in like a bathroom or maybe even a little extra. But ideally, you don't want to build in those areas because you don't have enough margin to make money.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is Fernando Barajas, background in construction and single family investor in the California Bay Area. Fernando, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice being here with you guys.
It's great to have you on. Fernando, I always like to start at the top of the show by asking my guests how they got into real estate. So how did you get into construction? How did you get into real estate?
I got into real estate through work, realizing that not only that I could work in homes, but I can also make a business out of it. I've learned in a very early stage that if I can work for myself, I will be more productive.
Now, when we talk about the California Bay Area, right, there's a lot of competition. When you were getting in as an investor, did you have mentors in this space? Were you learning on the go? Was it a little bit of both?
Um, you have to get everything you can. So yes, I had a mentor, but I've also learned things in my own. In California, it's really complex. A lot of it has to do with the area that you want to work on, and also has to do with the stuff that we talked about, which is accessory dwelling units. Some areas have already approved the buying and selling of accessory dwelling units, so you have to pay attention to where you're working on. So area means a lot. You have to know what's going on with the rules.
No question. I think there's a lot of interest right now, specifically in affordable housing everywhere, but certainly in California. Is accessory dwelling units, ADUs, is this big right now everywhere in California? Are you seeing this pop off everywhere?
Yes, it is big, but it hasn't been approved everywhere yet. There's some cities, for example, San Jose has already approved it. So you can buy and sell in San Jose. San Francisco has also approved it. And Oakland has already approved it. Now you can verify. I might not be correct on everything, but in those three cities, they have already approved the buy and sell ADUs.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
They just take it like if it was a condominium. Even though it's the same house, you can sell it as an ADU as long as it has certain requirements, like entrance. Sometimes they require parking space, sometimes they don't. So you have to go with the local authorities to find out what the rulings are.
Now, as an investor, are you focused on the development side? Are you focused on the flip side? Do you do a little bit of both?
I kind of have to do a little bit of both. The development, it's for gains, and the sell is when you need the capital to keep working. So you kind of have to do both, but it's very important to know where, when, and how, and that's where I need the help sometimes from the mentors.
I want to ask you specifically about the difference between the two spaces. So on one hand, you have the pre-owned homes, fix and flip, fix and hold, people turning homes into Airbnbs, this type of thing. On the other end, you have ground up construction, which is an entirely different skill set that includes, framing the home. With someone like yourself, background in construction, how do you approach each deal type?
This is a really good question, man. And I'm going to be very specific about this. Depending on the area, and I'm going to get to it. There is some areas where homes are worth, I don't know, $1 million plus. This is where you do the ground up construction because there's margin where you can build them up, sell it for a profit. There are areas that are called lower income areas where homes are, I don't know, 700,000, maybe even 500,000. You don't have enough margin to do a ground up. So in the lower income areas, you do the fixing and maybe adding like a bathroom or maybe even a little extra. But ideally, you don't want to build in those areas because you don't have enough margin to make money. You have to look for a good area where homes are valued higher in order for you to be to make your investment worth. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah. I think where a lot of people are seeing difficulties in the fix and flip space specifically is, and I can speak for Texas because that's where I'm licensed. You'll have pre-owned homes that may be selling for, let's call it $75,000 less in Texas than a brand new home. Now, granted, this might not be a top of the line, 5+ bedroom home, but if you're looking at, let's call it 3 or 4 bedroom homes, and you're comparing that to a pre-owned home, and the pre-owned home is $75,000 less, you're going to start justifying, hey, let me pay a little bit more. I'm going to get a brand new home. And so it becomes very difficult to compete. And I think this is why so many people are now moving into new construction. We'll see if this stays the same way now that the rates have been dropped slightly. I do want to pivot here, Fernando, and ask you specifically about the new construction space. There is somewhat of a barrier to entry in new construction because there's so much that you have to do. You have to pull permits. It's a whole different skill set that's involved. What is your approach to new construction? And also, do you have any advice for folks who may not have a construction background but are interested in ground up construction?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Well, you gotta consider a lot of things when it comes to new constructions. Most of us, even the people that are in constructions, miss certain items of the new constructions, and I'm gonna just mention one of them that nobody pays attention to. In California, you need a soil engineer approval before you get the foundation built, because that's how they base the foundation. And it costs a lot of money in California, for especially for engineer. And sometimes, and I mean a lot of times, but we don't estimate that expense, which is the expense of spending money on soil engineer, because based on the soil engineer is how they're gonna build the foundation of the whatever house you're gonna build. And just as much as you do that, you make mistakes on other items that you forget or you don't even pay attention to, and that will be one of them. I can keep going on it, but I don't want to spend too much time. All I'm saying is you have to pay attention to all the items. The biggest one
Yeah.
that I can tell you is it's what needs to be done, and make sure to estimate everything. And the second part that to me has been the most important one is location. Make sure that the location that you're going to pick has the highest value homes that is going to be worth building the house that you're planning to build.
What's your perspective on looking at infill lots versus looking at larger areas and building out maybe a multiple or even a small development? Do you think that it is ultimately smart to start with infill lots as a developer, or what would be your approach if you were starting out?
Well, and most of the questions are not answered in one way because there's multiple solutions or multiple routes. Uh,
Yeah.
I can tell you one thing. I can build a single home, for probably 300,000 to 400,000, from the ground up, depending on how big the house is and how much is in it. Now, we're gonna switch it to a development. We're gonna get like a big lot and we're gonna build, let's just say, 20 homes. Building 20 homes cost me a lot less than building one home that is unique for somebody else. Because all you're gonna do is repeat the same process you did on the first one. And when you do the second one, it just takes you less time. By the time you're on the 20th one, it goes really fast. Sometimes you can do the house in half of the time compared to the
Hmm.
one that you did first. So it's a lot more economical to build tract homes than to build just one home specific for somebody else. Does it make sense?
100%. I want to pivot off of that, Fernando, and ask you about when you're talking about building small developments or larger developments. You're dealing with more, I would say, engagement from city officials, right? So you're having to potentially get utilities out there in some cases. It can be, I can imagine, without having gone through it myself, maybe a more challenging process on that front. Have you found that to be the case? And then also, when it comes to building newer developments, is there any risk, uh, whether it's utilities being out there or holding costs associated with waiting for approvals from the city?
All of the above. First of all, when you build a new homes, you have to come up with all the new regulations like Title 24, uh, AD, fire sprinklers. Those are items like I mentioned in the past, that you have to pay attention to.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Because sometimes you don't estimate those items because they're not typically on, on the current homes that you work on. Because they're new homes, you have to add all these items that we usually don't have on typical homes. And when it comes to utilities, there are so much regulations around it that it's a nightmare to deal with it. Sometimes you have to wait up to a year just to be approved. And this is just to be approved to do the work. They still have to approve the job. That could probably take another year. Just as a reference, the fastest I've built a home is within a year just for the approval. Then it takes another 6 months or so to get it done. And that's if everything comes out accordingly.
Now, when we talk about this approval process and you're waiting months, a year, right? How does that factor into what you're purchasing the property for? I can imagine you have to think, I'm going to be holding on to this for a year. You're having to service debt for that year. Is it pretty much, hey, you're thinking in your head, I have to hold this a year to wait on the permits, or are you factoring in maybe a shorter time frame and hoping that it goes through in, let's say, 6 months?
It's not going to go in 6 months. Never had any permits for new construction in 6 months, ever since I've been working on it. You have to just purchase the property because that's the key to do the development. Because if you own the lot, you can get a loan to be able to do the building, and that's actually the key. Because without purchasing the property, to get a loan on a property that has a debt, they won't give to you. It has to be paid off, outright in order for you to get a construction loan on it. So that's a key part to be able to do that.
I want to ask you about folks, again, pivoting back to people who are interested in development. I'm hearing a couple things. First, buy the land. You have to have the land to develop. Second, make sure that you understand what the most recent code is, because you're going to have that going in. You're going to have the soil engineer out there. And then also, you're going to hold this property for a year, right? So you have to be prepared to wait that full year before you potentially break ground. New investors or new developers may be listening to all these things and thinking, gosh, where do I start with this? Would you say for newer developers that they can start by buying the land, or would you say before you do anything, you should take on a partner, because you're definitely going to want to have someone there with you while you're doing a deal like this?
I've done both, and if you're gonna find a partner, um, this might not be good for some people because the margin that you're gonna have to pay is gonna be big. But the best thing to do to start, get a partner, but the partner has to get a big chunk of your profits. The way I did it was 50%. So I pay out half of the earnings, which means the money that was profit once the sale happened, and they took half of it, and I took half of it. It's a big chunk. It hurts because you have to work a lot. You have to work a whole year just to be able to get started. And then you have to work another 6 months, maybe even up to 9 months to get it finalized. And all this time that you work, you have to give out half of your profit. It hurts. but sometimes it's the easiest and the fastest way to get started. You have to do that several times before you're able to do that, yourself.
On your own. Yeah. I think if you have to pay for the education in the form of a partner, I think that may be the way to go for a lot of people, especially with how much goes into it. Waiting a year, making sure that you have everything up to code, understanding how to put up these properties. There's a lot that goes into new development, I'm sure, and I know personally from having done work with developers in Texas. We are coming up on time here, though, Fernando. Where can folks go if maybe they're in the Bay Area, they'd like to reach out to you? Maybe they have a deal they'd like you to look at, or if they may be developers themselves, whether in California or outside, and would like your feedback on something that they've got going on.
Well, I have a webpage. It's Baragon General Construction. You can find it on online. It just has to be in the Bay Area, and you can definitely look at it. And one thing to say is the pictures on my website, they're real pictures. They're not professional pictures. They are, you know, make it look really nice so that I can sell. You're gonna see not professional pictures because I took it with my phone, and they're real pictures. You're gonna see not a clean, perfect job site, but it's real. And the end product, when you see it, it's real pictures that I took with my phone. So you can see the work being done, you know, not through the eyes of AI or not through the eyes of somebody, just making a picture to show that they do good work. But the pictures are not real. They're just for advertisement.
100%. People appreciate the realness of it and to be able to associate someone's work with what they're seeing online. Fernando, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.